Peace, diehards. What's up? You know what it is? DiehardKnicks Podcast. Second podcast of the day, man. I got to talk to Slizzy a little bit earlier from the state of the New York Knicks podcast. Right now, I'm going to be chopping up with Mr. Uncle Foolio, a.k.a. ESPN John. It's going to be ESPN Josh. I got to get it right. But I got to give him the proper intro, man, because I remember the first time I heard his voice, it was on the phone call or whatever, calling Sim Show. Then, I'm checking out, Knicks Fan TV, and I know the same guy. I'm like, yo, is that the same guy on the phone? Whatever, and then next thing you know, I'm hearing him again, and then I see him on the panel, and he's talking. Wait a second, you that guy from whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I know Uncle Foolio, man. So let me just bring him in here. What's good, my man?
What's happening, Eru? What's going on with you, man?
Chilling. You like that intro?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was dope. You know what I'm saying? It was dope.
Yeah, you're like infamous, man. You know, like everyone all over Knicks Twitter, all over Knicks YouTube or whatever, they know Josh. You just say Josh. Oh, that guy. You know what I'm saying? So you're like a guy with like strong opinions. You can explain everything that you say too, man. So shout out to you, man. I had to have you on my show because just to give you your props and stuff, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I mean, I hope what people are saying about me on Twitter isn't too bad.
Well, not as bad as YouTube, man.
Oh well, I mean, hey. I just try to be honest, be as honest as I can, and be objective. I think that's the most important thing, Knicks have let me down a lot in the past few years, you know what I mean? So try not to be too high, be too low about them. Try to, be somewhere in the middle. So, just call it like I see it,
Yeah.
So
I mean, so what do you like to be called? You like to be called Uncle Folio, ESPN Josh, or what do you want to be called?
ESPN Josh, I don't know how that came about. I guess because I sound too much like the guys from ESPN or bashing the Knicks all the time. Josh Whitlock and Josh Bayless, and I don't know. I mean,
I like Josh Bayless. Josh Bayless fits you good.
I mean, I guess. I mean, all of the above. I guess whatever floats your boat.
All right, man. So, this was like the intro. I got you on here talking, whatever, man. But let's do it ESPN style. We got DiehardKnicks Podcast. Josh, ESPN Josh. Let's get it. You like that shit?
That was fire, bro.
Yeah, gotta throw the flames at you, man. But anyway, like you have a strong opinion about RJ Barrett. You were talking. Let's let you start it from the beginning. I know you was talking about benching him at one point. You were talking about you talk a lot of stuff, man. But I just want you to clarify just what your thoughts on RJ, and just from the beginning.
Well, I mean, I must preface everything by saying I love RJ Barrett. I truly do. He's one of us. He's someone that we drafted. We got him number 3 pick, and the infamous Zion draft. He's our guy. He's going to be our guy moving forward. So with that being said, early in the season he was not shooting well at all, and it seemed to be an extension of what was going on last season. The guy just flat out could not shoot the basketball whatsoever. So with the Knicks, losing Alec Burks at the time, he was gone pretty much for a majority of the beginning of the season. I felt like it was needed for RJ to put him in that second unit, playing with the man quickly, try to get him up the floor a little bit more. Because when Quickly's in the game, the ball just seems to move, right? Way much more than it would in the starting lineup. So I felt that in order to help RJ get some, more comfortable looks or at least some more shots at the basket, put him in there with the second unit, put him in there with the bench. He was playing 38 minutes a game, right? He was playing most minutes in the NBA. So I didn't really want to cut his minutes too much. People were saying, "Oh, that's too many minutes for him." But I was like, "Yo, you can still have him play a lot of minutes, but have him come off the bench with that second unit, just to try to get him in a different feel for the game, a different flow." And that's what I wanted to happen at the beginning of the season, or at least that was a suggestion. And obviously, it wasn't warranted. I mean, it wasn't needed at the end of the day. So we know what RJ Barrett can do, and he's definitely been playing well as of late. For the second half. I guess the second half of the first quarter of the season. So he's been playing much better as of late. And if he's going to be our guy, I feel like we should hold him accountable. That's just the way I feel about him.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man. A lot of times I catch the show sometimes on the replay because I just want to hear what you guys got to say because I always miss we're hardworking men, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
we just can't make these things, whatever. But I mean, like whenever you make these points, like everybody in the chat's killing you, the panel's killing you, but I feel like there's nobody there to give you that boost to let at least somebody in the room know, like where at least where you're coming from. So I get it, man. Like just in the same manner of which that we got quickly coming off the bench, we want him coming off the bench just to kind of take the pressure off him, let him do what he's gonna do, and he still can finish the game, he still can get major minutes, but can come off the bench. We have to set the table, of the game and stuff. So I agree with you. Even to this day, RJ Barrett coming off the bench still might be something that that they should think about because he's been struggling a lot, right?
Yep. I mean, look. He's only 20 years old, right? So for people to say that, putting a 20-year-old guy on the bench is going to stunt his growth or anything like that, to me, I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, there have been a multitude of NBA players who have made careers coming off the bench. Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, so many guys that, six men of the year, they spent their entire career coming off the bench. So, I mean, we can't just, throw that to the side, like, coming off the bench is some sort of bad thing. I think if you're productive off the bench and you can make a role in the team, a winning team like that, I mean, you're not less valuable than if you were in a starting lineup. So, absolutely, I think that there still could be a role for RJ Barrett off the bench, but as this Knicks team is currently constructed with us just bringing in Rose and Brooks is back healthy with off the not necessary anymore as of right now, but definitely, I mean, it's on the table. It should not be just completely just thrown away. And of course, the comments are coming in. No, I disagree with that. Josh, you're dumb, all that. So.
Well, let's talk about it. Like people disagree with it because more than anything, people value that star. They just want to have that guy that they can hold up to the pedestal. Say, yo, this is our guy. How could you bench him? He's the one that we drafted third, and this and they start listening to all the different accolades. Oh, he's from Duke and this and the other. But at the same time, we have to build the basketball team. Yep. At some point, somebody got to have some rational thinking. Of course, we want him to be something, but he's not yet. Even though he's putting up 17, 7, 3, he's actually doing okay. But we need to set bars for these guys to hit. So the way that you speak about him, like it's totally valid because we expect him to be that. So and he wants to be that, man. So listen, be that. Shaq, right? Shaq called out Donovan Mitchell. A lot of people, was okay with that, because of who they are. Shaq said it, and he's saying it to Donovan Mitchell, so that everybody throws in Kobe and throws in all this other stuff. But like, if somebody like you says it, it's like, oh, you freaking idiot, you're an asshole. But isn't that exactly what Shaq just said to Donovan Mitchell? So what's the difference?
We have to hold our players accountable. We have to. That's the only way that they're gonna live up, or at least we're gonna find out whether they are that guy. And that's just how I've always been looking at RJ Barrett. Like, we can't continue to baby these players and coddle these players. You gotta. I mean, being objective does not mean you're less of a fan. Call it like you see it. Call it straight down the middle. That's what Knicks fans used to do. We're New Yorkers. We keep it real. What's wrong with keeping it real? I just feel like we've lost that as a fan base, and I don't understand it, man, at all.
That what you just said is the core of what I've been trying to do with this whole DiehardKnicks podcast thing. I started with the audio, now I'm visual. The core thing of it is like, what happened to New York City? What happened to New York City? Saying that RJ Barrett, needs to come off the bench or whatever, and then everybody gets so emotional and getting crazy and whatever, and just that whole dynamic, and even now, like say like everyone wants to get stars. We're kind of getting away from that. The culture is getting away from that a little bit,
right.
But everyone's still saying like, we need to get this guy, keep this draft pick, because then we can build up his trade value to put it all together to send it for to go for that guy. When did we lose our self-respect as a fan base? Where we sell our soul and just everything that we are just to so we can bow down or have like a poster or whatever people do nowadays. People don't really do posters, but you want to have a screensaver on your phone with your favorite player. That is it about your favorite player or is it about you winning a championship?
Right.
So
I mean, the NBA is a superstar league. It's a superstar league. It's a guard league. The teams that win championships nowadays, they got that dude on the team, that MVP caliber player. The last time a Knicks had an MVP on the roster was 50 years ago. 50. 5-0. Willis Reed was the last time or the only player in franchise history that was an MVP. Right? You can say that Ewing was MVP caliber, but he wasn't going to beat Jordan and Karl Malone and all these guys back in the 90s. I love Patrick. Oh, don't get me wrong. I love Patrick Ewing, but he wasn't going to be an MVP, right? And throughout the Knicks history, if you look back, like the only stars that we've had on the team, you go back 50 years with Willis and Clyde, and then, you think Bernard King, but he was only here for a few seasons. Then Ewing, then Carmelo. That's 4 or 5 guys. Or 4, I guess, in the history of the franchise that goes back to 1946.
The OG, the original franchises, one of the original franchises.
One of the original franchises. We haven't had that star, you know what I mean? And Knicks fans nowadays think that every star is going to turn out to be Stephon Marbury or a supposed Stephon Marbury or Carmelo Anthony. We're going to trade the house to get him. And I think it just does not have to be like that. You can build and also bring in a star and win some games at the same time. You can develop and win. Those go hand in hand. It does not have to be a separate thing. I've always felt that way about this team. And I like what they're doing right now. I didn't expect them to do much this season because I didn't think the roster was that good. But now we see Randall developing, turning into somebody else, an all-star caliber player. RJ, we see his trajectory is going up. Right, so you're telling me if you don't add another guy with that, a superstar guy with what we have right now, that we won't be able to do anything meaningful? To me, I just don't understand why Knicks fans feel this way. And look, things are getting better. I'm much more optimistic about this team now than I was in the offseason. Those guys playing much better. And as far as RJ Barrett's concerned, I know where RJ Barrett's going to go. But if he has a game where he scores 6 points and only shoots the ball 5 times, I'm gonna call him out because the Knicks are not going to be able to win if RJ Barrett has those type of games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then right now everything is on the internet. Nobody's at the games and stuff like that. So the stuff that you're saying, we need a heckler in the audience saying, RJ, you suck. You only shot the ball 5 times in this game. You need to shoot more. You know what I'm saying? Call the man. That fans do that. I've been at games where Ewing got 30 points, 15 rebounds, 20 million blocks, and there's a fan on the side, you fucking suck, or whatever. Because you need that because all that the defense, the players hear it, so just like the Twitter, Alfred Payton and all this other stuff. It's a different era, man. But I mean, we have to be accountable too. We can't accept the BS. With like there's a thing too. After these losses, right? You go on people's shows. Not so much Sim show, but like some of the other shows, they'll call in and be like, yo, I can't believe they lost this fucking game. Yeah, they lost a game, but at the same time, like you don't want to get better at all. You don't like you care so much about these wins and losses, you get so stressed out about it. But then like you have no solution and you have no foresight in your mind or anything about how to get these guys better. You just mindlessly they lost another game. But at the same time, you don't care about none of these guys. You would rather trade all these guys in a heartbeat to go get whoever the hottest guy on the market is,
Right. I mean, look, there's multiple ways to build a championship team. There's multiple ways to build a winner. And I think the Knicks have been bad for so long that we kind of forgot how to build a winner, how to do it. So look, I like the direction the team is going. The front office and coaching staff are finally on the same page. We have some young talent, a lot of young talent. Actually, people saying our young talent is not getting enough playing time, which I think is absurd because the Knicks have one of the youngest teams in the NBA, right? And Tom Thibodeau is playing the young guys. They're getting their minutes. Obviously, he prefers veterans over the young guys, but the young guys are still playing, and we see what they can do. So the Knicks are going in the right direction for sure.
Right. So I'm gonna just briefly kind of run through Tom Thibodeau, at least from what I see. Tom Thibodeau, when he first came in here, he just said up straight off the bat that he's not here to babysit. He's here to win. He's here to put a product together and do his job to win. We went and got the front office. We went and got the coaching staff. Tom Thibodeau and stuff like that. So now everybody's here. We're here to do a job now. So that's the focus, man. So he did get the guys playing to a certain point where basically almost the same crew from last year gave everybody a role. all right, our identity now is playing bully ball, strong defense. Those 2 games against Miami were incredible to me, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so what do you think about what's happening here? And then like just I know we kind of touched on it, but like how do we get better as a team? And how does RJ Barrett and some of these other situations play into the whole list?
Well, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think these were great games for the development. Even though we lost the game, I would definitely like to win at least one of those games, if not both of them. Even though we lost both of the games, I think these type of games, the gritty style, where the game was going back and forth, and you can tell the atmosphere on the court was just intense. I think that was really good for this team's development. I think that come playoff time, these are the type of games that are going to be out there that we're going to have to be able to overcome. And a lot of people were expecting me last night to bash RJ because he missed the game-winning layup. But no, actually, I did the opposite because, okay, yes, he should have made the layup. I just like the fact that he took the shot, that it was somebody else outside of Randall to have the ball in their hand with the game on the line. You know what I mean? And I wanted it to be him because he's supposed to be our Robin or our second best player. So I like what the Knicks are doing. I think we play great defense. Thibodeau has these guys playing phenomenal defense. We don't force that many turnovers, but we hold teams to well under their season's average. And our problem is scoring. We need more scoring. So the Knicks, I think, score 102 points per game right now. If that can go up to 110, this team is different. And I'm talking top 4 in the Eastern Conference different by the way that they currently play defense and like 110 points. Perfect team that I like to compare us to, or I think that we should emulate, is the Clippers, right? The Clippers play half-court, slow-paced basketball, and, they play great defense, but they're able to score 114 points. So on nights where their defense is not showing up, they can be able to outscore teams because they can score, they can score a lot. And they have 2 3-and-D wings, superstars in the NBA, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And I think that's what the Knicks are missing right now. That's the difference between where the Knicks are and where the Clippers are. And I think that's what we should try to emulate moving forward, going out and getting a guy. And guess what? Kawhi Leonard is available in free agency, right? So there you go.
Right. So do you think we have a shot at Kawhi Leonard or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the first time the Knicks have had an abundance of cap space in a long time. I think Kawhi Leonard might be unhappy with his situation and with the Clippers, particularly if they don't win a championship. He has all the power to opt out of that contract. And I think, he possibly could want to leave in the offseason. We should not just completely dismiss it and throw it out the window. I'm not saying we should pray and like this, the offseason is a failure if we don't get him. But definitely, if he's available, we should definitely put an offer on him to come to New York. He would fit perfectly at that 3 spot. We're looking for a 3, right? We need a 3. Kawhi Leonard is perfect. The perfect 3-and-D guy, championship caliber, finals MVP. To me, future Hall of Famer, right? To fit right there next to RJ, bring RJ back down to the 2. You can interchange them, however you want to do it. And then this team is different. This team is much different.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been saying we kind of need to continue this. Like people say we need shooters, we need this, that, and the other, but like in their mind, I just don't know what they're thinking about. Like we definitely need to keep the this culture of like I don't want to say culture because that's so like cliche, but it's just style of play. We're playing bully style of ball. So adding like a Kawhi Leonard in the offseason will definitely add to that bully ball that we're trying to do here, especially with Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is a man that's trying to he's trying to run the team and whatever, but he's not like the guy that everyone expects him to be, where he's yelling and screaming at individual players while they're playing. It's just more like, I'm in the game. Just like how you say we got to keep guys accountable. He's just in the game. He's gonna yell out stuff and whatever, but not in the manner in which people are saying. Like we don't need like this was all the we need somebody to yell at Kevin Knox to make him do that. Oh, we need somebody to yell at Frank to make him do that. It's not about that. It's like, we need to get these players, like guys that could play. They're already self-made. We don't need them to yell at Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is already working the reps. He's working the game. He's watching, trying to navigate this game. He doesn't have time to be yelling at Knox to wake him up. That's not how it works.
Right.
So I really think that's the way that we we can go. But I mean, like, that's in the off season. Do you think any, is it a possible way for us to do the same thing? Adding that piece, for the 3 or maybe the 2, to try to help us right now this season.
I really don't know who's truly out there that will be able to be that much of a difference maker on this team. You can think the Pelicans with JJ Redick, at the 2 or the 3 spot, because the shooting is what everyone talks about. But with JJ Redick coming on this team, he's limited defensively, right? And I don't think he can bring particularly what Reggie Bullock can bring defensively for this team. So I just think right now the Knicks don't need to make any more trades. Definitely not anything that's like a big splash. I think they should just wait to the offseason and go at it that way rather than doing it during the season, because right now we're fine. We're fine where we are as of right now for this particular season. I think the Derrick Rose move definitely helped us for the bench. That should help us get some more wins a little bit, add some points to the board. But the Knicks don't need to do anything substantial right now during the middle of the season. I think they lost all their leverage when the season started and guys were signing with other teams of free agency, right? It lost that ability to have leverage in this type of situation. And right now it just doesn't make sense. So I will just wait till the offseason.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, man. But it might be something like not a big splash, but maybe something like one level below it. Because I feel like Kawhi Leonard, cool, he'll be available, but in order to really lure him here, we have to actually do something to make guys be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like not just okay, they're doing well, let's send I saw them do that. But if we do something to make us go, oh, where now instead of just making like the 10th that play-in tournament type of thing, instead of just being down there with those guys, maybe even missing the playoffs, we want to jump to the next spot where we actually solidify a playoff spot where guys will be like, okay, well, they made the playoffs on their own. I say they got 60 something million, 50 something million, whatever is left from what we have. Said, listen, I can go take that bread. My uncle likes the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard got an uncle that likes the Knicks, right? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, for me, I feel like we definitely had to do something to set the table for that offseason. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something crazy where we give in like 4 or 5 draft picks, like say like for like a Bradley Beal. I think that would be kind of wasted, because we have guys that can kind of shoot. We don't really need, I'm not sure how his the way that he plays will fit with the way that we're playing. So we don't want to change what we're doing. We want to compound it really. So I'm really trying. I'm kind of like mesmerized by Oladipo. What do you think about Oladipo? I keep mentioning him in all my podcasts.
So the thing with Oladipo is he's an expiring contract. So right. I mean, if you're going to make a move for Oladipo, they're going to ask for a first-round pick, right? So I mean, I'd like to have Oladipo on this team, sure, but what's the cost going to be? And I'm not one of those guys that like to hoard draft picks. That is not me. I feel like in order to win games, you got to improve the roster, and you got to be able to, make sacrifices along the way. So I am not that guy. However, I just don't think it's worth it, particularly if we don't know if he's going to sign in the offseason, sign with us, long term. Would Houston be willing to take something lower than the first round pick? Would they be willing to do that? I mean, they got all their draft picks obliterated in the bringing in Russell Westbrook, and then they traded hard and they got some of those picks back. But they got actually a lot back for them. But I'm just not sure if it's worth signing guys who have expiring contract or trading for guys who have expiring contracts without knowing if they're going to sign long term. Again, from a basketball standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world, right? Andre Drummond is another one. Makes all the sense in the world to bring that guy onto this team. It fits, basketball wise. But I just think the contracts and everything like that, I'm not ready for the Knicks to do that right now. And particularly in this upcoming draft, I mean, people are talking about it's really good. So I'm kind of hold on to what we have in this upcoming draft, and then I guess worry about it in the offseason. I think this team is fine where they are. I think teams are starting to wake up and realize they're for real right now because of the way they play defense, their intensity. I think with RJ Barrett, his ascendance, and with Julius Randle becoming an all-star, I think teams are paying attention to that. And I think, we can add to that any offseason. We don't have to do it right now. I think the Knicks will make the playoffs this year. Let me just get that out the way. I think they will. Where they fall in the playoff standings, it's not going to be top 4, but it definitely will be in that lower tier. And I think that's good enough for where this team is right now. They don't need to unless they're going for it all. They do Bradley Beal or somebody like that. I don't think they need to worry about actually missing the playoffs. I think they're fine where the Knicks are right now.
Okay, I got you. But I'm just watching these guys. We got two guys in here that's contributing to the chat here. We got Big Tax here. He doesn't agree with the Kawhi Leonard thing. So this guy here, Harlem MG319, I guess he doesn't agree with the Oladipo thing. So but at the same time, the same guy once doesn't mind picking up Andre Drummond. So my thing is, right, like it does it have to do with the name? Guys just want the name Andre Drummond. So name recognition, is that why that's more attractive than say like a Oladipo, because Oladipo maybe he doesn't have the same track record or something like that. But just to give like the counter argument to what you're saying with not wasting those picks, whatever. Because I mean, absolutely, if we didn't do anything, that would be the right move. But I want to throw somebody out there, Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is somebody that everybody wanted to get. Everybody's in all the chat rooms and whatever. Oh, Lonzo Ball, we need to give up this. Yo, I'll give up a first rounder. I'll do this. They're willing to give up everything for Lonzo Ball. Meanwhile, Elfrid Payton is putting up better numbers across the board than Lonzo Ball, at least in the short season, right? So I mean, like, what is it about Lonzo Ball that's so good that makes you want to give up first round draft picks and maybe swap, we'll give them this and we'll swap that pick for that. Like, people are ready to wheel and deal for somebody like Lonzo Ball, compared to somebody like Oladipo. So anyway, to continue that conversation with that, is it like you do that, like let's say like you just mentioned that Houston doesn't have any draft picks, man, so they'll be thirsty, say, oh, you want to give us a first round draft pick? Okay, cool. But we maybe throw Kevin Knox in there with us. And whatever. So
I think Kevin Knox will be really good there. By the way, Kevin Knox will be really, really good in Houston. I think he would flourish there.
Yeah, with their style of play, the way that they play there, especially with John Wall there, and then just the way they play the spread offense and stuff, he definitely would play well there. So I mean, a first round draft pick, Kevin Knox, that would definitely get us Oladipo, because we have the cap space too to make the salaries work and whatever. So let's say if we was to do that, the same way that people are not afraid to give up those assets to get Lonzo Ball, because then we'll just resign him. If you're gonna trade him, then we're definitely gonna resign him. So if you're gonna do the same thing with Lonzo, then we can apply the same thing with somebody like Oladipo. Like, if you're gonna give the draft pick, we're gonna sign him. So I mean, we'll think of that. Say, listen. Let's say somebody like Kawhi comes along, he can say, okay, I'm thinking about coming to the Knicks. What's going on with Oladipo? Is he gonna stay? And then then there's something for him to think about. The Knicks could do something. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to make $30 million a year. He can get the same deal that Julius got, maybe $20 million. Right. Something fair. $20 million is fair. For somebody like me, like him with the injury history and stuff like that. $20 million, maybe like a year, or that type of contract, 2-year contract, whatever. So now you got him in the stats that he's definitely going to come. Now, if Kawhi comes, we still got the money for Kawhi. So now look at the roster.
The roster is definitely elite at that point. And Knick fans, they kind of they're stuck on this Jalen Green and Kate Cunningham stuff, in the draft coming up next year. But again, we're bringing in players like that. What happens is you have to wait another 3 or 4 years for these guys to bloom and for these guys to pop. So it kind of delays the process even more. And look, I want to win. I want to win now. I'm going to win yesterday, right? So I want to improve. I want to improve this roster like right now. You know what I mean? So I definitely see where you're coming from. And I just think the Lonzo Ball hype, or the hype surrounding Lonzo Ball, was because people were so fed up with Elfrid Payton. Yeah, which that's another thing I couldn't really understand, because he's only making $5 million. We didn't sign Elfrid Payton to come in here and go crazy at the point guard position. That's not why we signed Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton is a serviceable point guard, starting caliber for sure. He's not going to give you much, but he's going to go out there, he's going to play hard. He gets in the lane. There was a time during the season where Elfrid Payton was getting to the lane more than RJ Barrett. And RJ Barrett was like the guy who was supposed to be the second best player. You know what I mean? So I just think there's a bias with that, and the fans have been hungry for a point guard for a long time. So that's why everyone's so willing to go so crazy with Lonzo Ball. I think bringing Lonzo Ball in definitely would help, but that's not the answer we need at the point guard position. I think we're not going to find that until and we're talking Kyle Lowry. I think that's a little bit different. And we're talking about Rondo if he was available. That's why I wanted him in the offseason. or I wanted Russell Westbrook in the offseason. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
a
I
whole
mean?
different thing there.
But imagine if we had 18, 10, and 10 at the point guard position right now. Where would this team be? 18, 10, and 10 from the point guard position, along with Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, right? So to me, I just think that's where the Lonzo Ball thing comes in. I definitely see your point about Oladipo, and I think that's what it will cost to get Oladipo here, if not more. And I just don't think as of right now it's going to move the needle because RJ Barrett's kind of inconsistent. He's been, he gets games where he has his 20 points, and there's games where he only shoots the ball 6 times and doesn't get to the free throw line at all. So I think I need Julius Randle and RJ Barrett to be pretty much established first before I add, another piece to them. And I think that's going to happen next year when they become established and get into their own. Both of those guys are going to be all-stars, in my opinion. And I think if you add a star to that, I think that's when the Knicks will ascend up into that top 4 in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I'm looking at some of the comments here. Just stating the obvious here. Knicks fan for life says that a lot of Knicks fans are just loud, loud fakes in our fan base. It's true, man. Harlem here. He's talking. Great addition to our team. What do you think about Obi Toppin, man? What do you think his deal is? Do you think it's the way that we're using him, the fit, or maybe just the speed of the game? Like, what's your opinion on Obi Toppin?
I like Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin was the guy who I wanted to draft, particularly because I didn't think Julius Randle would have the type of season that he's having right now. And Julius Randle proved a lot of us wrong. I don't want to necessarily trade Julius Randle, but I just thought that Julius Randle was a consolation for us missing out on KD and Kyrie. But he's definitely upped this game. And because he's upped this game, I think bringing Toppin in or having Toppin in that backup role kind of limits his playing time, right? Because he's not going to take Julius Randle off the floor. And I also think it is a style of play issue. We're last in the NBA in pace. Back when in Dayton, Obi Toppin was running up and down the floor. You know what I mean? Just going. Same with RJ Barrett. You know what I mean? That's why he started off kind of slow. So I think Obi will find his way on this roster. I believe as long as we continue to get him his minutes, have him play within the confines of the system. Having Derrick Rose there helps him, right? Because Derrick Rose, nice pass last night on the baseline for Obi Toppin, easy wide open dunk. I think his game will improve as time goes on. We seem to be patient with him. But obviously he's not going to start anytime soon with Julius Randle at that spot. Unless Obi Toppin, drops some pounds, then we can put him at that 3. And then there you go. We got a 3, we can put him in there, So, but I think he will be fine.
Yeah, speaking of the 3 and just putting on size or that or whatever, this guy, what's the small forward on their team that he was posting up that he barely got that shot up off, that one post-up move that Obi had last night.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
What's the player's name? That dude looks like the Fonz.
You talking about the guy who was guarding Obi?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Butler. What are you talking about?
Not Butler. The white kid.
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson playing defense on him, and
the shooter. Yeah,
the shooter was had Obi Toppin. He couldn't move. Obi Toppin had to reach over him and shoot behind his back. Just to get the thing in. So there's a lot of problems and just development in his evolution, whatever.
He'll get there. I mean, he was started off hurt to begin the season, so he missed a whole chunk of time, and then the Knicks put him in the game. He first came back off injury. They put him in the game, and I think it was like 10 minutes his first game. Then the second game they dropped him down to a minute. So he just has to find his role with the team. He's playing, and I think ultimately it's going to work out. We just got to give him a little bit of time.
Yeah, I agree with that. One thing that you can't teach effort. He's definitely given 110% whenever he's out there. So shout out to him. So I got Harlem MG 319 here. He's talking about Zoe. He said he's one of the best guards in the league. Best defensive guards in the league. Do you agree with that statement?
I mean, I don't see how he's going to give much more than Elfrid Payton on defense. I don't really see like him being a stopper or anything like that. I don't know how that moves the needle. What Lonzo Ball can shoot a little bit better. Basically, that's not the case. So I really don't see it. I really don't see Lonzo Ball being one of the best defensive guards in the NBA. No.
Yeah, it's just the way it's perception, you know.
Right.
Lonzo Ball, oh, he's one of the best defensive guards in the NBA. Lonzo Ball, oh, he's one of the best passers I've ever seen. You know, it's just like it's like trained, like as like a child when you have your parent and stuff. Your parents put stuff in your head and whatever, and then you grow up and you don't even know why you have this in your head. It's because subliminally things being put in your head you don't even know. So that's the same kind of concept, guys. Not no disrespect, or whatever. I'm just saying, people in general, they just saying, they just kind of just emulating what people are saying so much. I'm not emulating, but I mean, they're hearing all that stuff so much that it becomes a piece of their brain that they don't even know why they don't even know why they're saying it.
Right. Yep. I mean, definitely. That's just how a lot of Knicks fans are, and I guess that's how Knicks fans feel about me. That's why they call me ESPN Josh. So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I wanted to have you. I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while, but I've been trying to get this together, to make sure that I understand it good, because I want you to be able to to have a good show without me having all these technical difficulties and stuff. But like I said, that first time that I ever heard your voice, man, you were saying something. I forgot. Do you remember what it was? That when you was on Sim's show talking about it, because you went on Knicks Fan TV and said the same thing. I forgot. Was
it about the Dolan thing? Was it that?
I don't know what it was.
That's another controversial take that people don't agree with me on, the Dolan and the front office and all of that.
Well, that's that. Yeah. Well, I think it had to do with some kind of trade. It might have been Russell Westbrook or something like that. It definitely had to do with
the Westbrook thing. It could have been the Westbrook thing. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, people definitely didn't agree with the whole Russell Westbrook thing. For me, from a basketball standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world, right? The Knicks are last in the NBA pace. The Knicks need a point guard. The Knicks fans at least claim they want to have a point guard on the team. Russell Westbrook is gritty. He's a dog. He's a future Hall of Famer. And guys get better by playing with him. Victor Oladipo had his best years playing next to Russell Westbrook. Paul George had his best year playing next to Russell Westbrook. The guy's in the playoffs every single season, and he is a dog. Like, we used to want dogs in this team. Now we don't want them all of a sudden. I think the only place where there's some contention where people are like, I kind of don't want to do it, was the fact that we would have to trade for him and then we would have to give up assets, which I kind of understand. However, now with the Knicks playing the way they're playing, you can't tell me this team right now. You cannot tell me. He's everything this team needs at the point guard position. 18, 10, and 10 that's what he's averaging right now. And people are going to say, well, look at the Wizards. They're not winning any games. We're not the Wizards. The Knicks are number one in defense in the league. You know what I mean? So I just don't like the fact how people are like, oh, just because the guy's doing bad with another team, they're going to come here and then we're going to be bad. I just don't agree with that. I think Russell Westbrook, when we're going to see him on Friday, I just think Russell Westbrook would be a tremendous addition to this team. And hopefully he doesn't dog us on Friday, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, more than likely he's probably going to get off. Somebody always gets off against us with another team, but our defense is, Tom Thibodeau is great with game planning and stuff. So he's going to definitely game plan, and we'll be ready for those guys. But what I was going to say, I was just I forgot what I was going to say with that, but just with the Russell Westbrook, I was going to say styles. Styles in boxing, right? Styles win fights, right? So if somebody likes to go inside, that's good for somebody that likes to keep them out. Whatever. It depends on who could put their dominance on the game. So anyway, without Russell Westbrook, the Knicks were able to establish this style of play, and we've been pretty consistent. Everyone wants to play this guy. Well, how come Tibbs won't get this guy some minutes? Let's see what this guy could do. But Tom Thibodeau's like, listen, this is how we're gonna play. I don't see, whatever I need to see, I didn't see it already with these guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just painting that picture. But let's say if he was to get Russell Westbrook in the manner of which, however we would have got him, if he was here, best believe Tom Thibodeau would have had him implemented in this system. He has Randall doing a lot of ball handling. If Russell Westbrook was here, maybe he would be playing in the same way that Elfrid Payton is playing. Why not? Because if we had Elfrid Payton instead of Russell Westbrook, how much of a better team would we be right now?
I think it would be way better. I think it would be way better. There's no question. Russell Westbrook is still a top point guard in this league. There's no doubt in my mind. And then look, the Knicks are not only last in pace, but they're last in fast break points. You can't tell me Russell Westbrook isn't one of the best fast break players in NBA history. I'm talking, he gets the rebound and he's gone. You telling me that won't help? That won't help Obi and a lot of the young guys, and potentially Kevin knocking him out in that corner. So I mean, to me, Knicks fans are just they're so worried about getting a star that they don't know what having a star here is in New York. They just kind of want to stay away from it. But to me, I think he would be a great fit. Him at the point guard position or Kawhi Leonard at the 3. To me, that's based on what I see right now and the way the Knicks are playing.
Yeah. Look at Derrick Rose coming off the street, the way that he played. All of a sudden, the bench play was like, whoa, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like the game just his spark, just the fact that he knows how to just his style of play, just his knowledge of basketball, of what to do. Isn't it, you don't have to develop, you don't need have to have time to gel. If you could play ball, you could play ball. It doesn't have to be all this dramatic, crazy stuff, the way that people dramatize things. It doesn't have to be that crazy. If Russell Westbrook was to come in and right now, and just fill that spot, like you would see the change immediately. You would see exactly what you've been trying to say this whole time when fighting all these millions of crazy fans out here on these internets and stuff. But,
I just think that type of play is contagious, bro. Like when you play with a guy like that, when you play with a superstar or a future Hall of Fame player, people talk all the time about Chris Paul. Yeah, I get it. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook are different players. Chris Paul is more of a facilitator and they get guys in the right spots. But I just think in general, when you play with a guy like that, he has no choice, or you have no choice but to get better because you're feeding off that. You're feeding off that greatness. People say James Harden is a selfish player. James Harden leads the league in assists. He leads the NBA in assists.
Right.
So you can't, like Knicks fans, like you got to have a superstar. You have to have a superstar in today's NBA, and the Knicks are one superstar away. Whether it be at the point guard position, whether it be at the 3, they just need one superstar, one closer. And I think that this team is in that upper echelon in the Eastern Conference for sure.
Okay, well, we're talking about Russell Westbrook, right? So, we already have the assets to get him. Would you get Russell Westbrook right now at this time?
No, I wouldn't do it right now. I think the time to get him was in the offseason. Again, the Knicks had all of the leverage. Now they don't have as much leverage right now. I'm pretty sure that the Washington gave away their first-round pick, or one of their first-round picks, along with John Wall, to get Westbrook in there. So they're going to be first-round pick hungry. Would I get a first-round pick for Russell Westbrook? Yes. And Knicks fans don't like to hear that, but yes, I would, because that takes us into the next step. But I just think it's going to cost a little bit more than the first-round pick. I'm talking multiple over the next few years. And I think the Knicks, Knicks fans definitely don't want to do that. And I'm not ready to do that. Not right now with this team as it's presently constructed. Not right now.
Cool, man. Yeah. So I mean, you the man, bro. I just gotta say, somebody gotta say. Everybody's always saying, so talking badly about you, man. Somebody gotta say, when we're talking and stuff, we got I can mention some of the guys. Some of the guys, they do their thing in a certain way. But when you're on the show, you just make the conversation just better, because when you say something, like, you're not just saying it just to say it and then anybody could just back you down. You just like, no, I'm saying like this, and this is XYZ. This is why I think this way, and blah, blah, blah. What you got? And then you come back and you say, listen, no. And then that's what I appreciate. I appreciate, I don't want to say a stamina, but I just appreciate your fire as a fan, man. So that's what fandom is all about. Being able to say what you got to say. Don't take it personal. People like to make things personal. This is just basketball.
Yeah,
we all having a great time. Look at all this bullshit I got up. I got the DiehardKnicks thing in the back. I got sweatshirts and stuff. I'm having a good ass time doing this, right? You see that somebody drew a picture of me, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is my guy here. This is Black Design Media. Check him out on Instagram. He made this sketch of me here. Shout out to him, man. It's fun. You got the Knicks hat. I see you rocking your stuff. You got your Giant stuff. This is all fun. This is all make believe. Like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So why is it so? Why do people bring like the anger and like wanting to fight over dumpster? They make it personal. We should be all having a great time, especially now, right? This is this is like a renaissance period for the Knicks right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I don't know why people are crazy like that. But we're all angry, you know what I mean? I don't think anybody is content with the Knicks, how they've been playing over the last 20 years. I'm definitely not, but I think that the key thing is I just want to win, man. I just want to win. Like I was stationed in California for 5 years. You know, everyone knows I'm active duty. I'm in the Navy, and I was stationed in California for 5 years, and I had to deal with Laker fans. Like no one would talk about. Like I'm the only Knicks fan out there. My team is garbage. You know what I'm saying? And they're winning championships every single year. You know what I mean? It's like no one. We get no respect. We one of the original franchises, but we get no respect anywhere around the country. I don't really see that much Knicks gear. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to win, man. I just want to win. That's all I want to do is win. Yeah. And I think that should be the focus. That should be the key, winning. Because I think winning, when you start winning games, everything else starts to fall in place. Development falls in place. The not develop people. They're always, every year, they're in the running to not only win a championship, but they have young talent that they can develop. Look at talent. Horton Tucker and the baby Lakers from a few years ago that they traded away to get Anthony Davis. They're always developing guys. The Spurs, always developing guys. The Celtics, always developing guys. You know what I mean? So I think just that winning culture, having that in the organization does wonders for everything else around it. And that's where I want to be. I just want to win games. So. Yeah,
I'm with you, man. Yo, so you said you were in the Navy?
I am in the Navy. I'm currently in the Navy.
Yo, shout out to you, man. You know, salute to everyone that serves, man. Especially you, man. Nice young man like yourself. But I mean, does this do anything to you? Boop,
boop. Yeah, it does boop. A lot actually. Yeah. 5 years on the ship, man. 5 years.
Yeah, I always mess around.
San Diego.
Oh my God. Yeah, I always mess around with guys from the Navy, man, because I know you guys are on the ships for months and long periods of time. So I know that the sound of that what do you call it?
It's a radar that goes around.
Yeah,
radar repeater. Boop, yep.
Boop, and it does that. Really does that, right?
Yep.
Oh, man.
It does.
I don't know how you do
it. In the dark room, in the middle of the night, in the middle of the ocean, and there's nothing out there. Yep.
Just a boop. I mean, like you guys will wake up to relieve me. My brains will be just all over the freaking back wall, man. I think I would just go crazy with that, man. But I'm just joking, man. But shout out to you with that. PTSD. People talk about PTSD with the fan base. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
PTSD
for sure. We keep making the same mistake over and over again. But I just want to say that having PTSD is not going after free agents or going after big names. To me, having PTSD is waiting for that guy to come, whether it be through free agency, through trades, or through the draft. We're waiting for that guy to come. Like, for example, the Zion draft, right? We had PTSD by thinking that the Knicks were going to get the number 1 pick, and then we don't get the number 1 pick, right? That's the same thing, waiting for that guy to come through the draft, as waiting for KD and Kyrie to sign in the offseason. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Because there's multiple ways you can get a start. You can get it through the draft. You can get it through from another team. So I think all that is the same thing, just waiting for that one guy, that one savior to come save their franchise. And what I'm saying is it doesn't necessarily have to be that. You can build a team. You can, get guys to come in here that are not necessarily MVP caliber players, and you can build a team that way. And then, like you said, once you have all that established, then you have a closer come in, and then it's game over, right? So we just need to be aware of that, and we need to continue to build this thing and do it right.
Yeah, you saw me laughing, right? You say waiting for that guy to come to the door. That sounds like somebody that their father left them or something. They're just waiting for daddy to call them. Whatever, it's Christmas. Did daddy call me? That's how Knicks fans are. It's just crazy. But right. Shout out to Harlem. He just said just call him Harlem, right? So it's Harlem MG319. Thank you for continue to participate in the chat. We say things as Knicks fans, man, but it's like you take things with grains of salt or whatever. It's not that serious. We're just talking sports. It's not a big deal. So, what else is going on here? Anybody else saying anything? Covington, what do you think about Covington?
Oh, I think another good basketball move that'll definitely help the team. He's a 3-and-D guy. Not necessarily going to move the needle that much for me. I don't see him being that much of a better defender than Reggie Bullock. Probably can knock down a little bit more 3-pointers, but we all know Reggie Bullock can get hot at any moment. So I mean, definitely is a piece that we can add, but not substantial enough for me to want to move assets during the middle of the season. But I like him. I like Covington.
Yeah, I like him too. He for some reason he gets a lot of steals. He's like, every year is like one of the league leaders in steals.
Yeah, it's pretty long. Pause.
Whoa. You almost gave me a heart attack, man. Yeah, man. But we getting long in the tooth with the podcast, man. We really rocking. We using a lot of words, which is good. The thing is flowing. So I just want to thank you for coming in, man. So are you working on your own show or anything going on like that?
Yes, and no at the same time. So I'm currently active duty. I'm always busy. Like I was telling you, like I came in the house today and I passed out. I was so tired. Yes, I do ultimately want to have my own podcast up. Right now, I just got to get settled. I just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, so still trying to get settled in and get my place set up and everything like that. But I definitely want to create my own podcast. It's going to be called the Uncle Foolio Podcast. I got some my sports. I'm a huge Knicks fan, obviously. I'm a huge Met fan. I'm a huge Giants fan. So I'm going to be talking about those teams a lot. And then also I got a little bit of DJ work that I do. So I want to, have like a little DJ sets here and there. So it's a lot of things that I like to do. And politics is another thing that I like to throw out there, talking about what's happening in current events and stuff like that. So yeah, it's coming down the pipeline. I have a lot to say, not just about the Knicks. I have a lot to say about, what's going on. And, I'm a conservative, by the way. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a conservative. So people don't like that either, so yeah, I mean, it's coming, but I definitely will put it out there and let you guys know when it is going to be up and running. But for those out there who want to follow me, I'm Uncle Foolio on Twitter and Instagram. UNCLEFOOLIO on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me there. Sometimes I'll retweet some stuff and post some content. And yeah, man, it's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you're on everybody's favorite podcast. So me and Russell, you're like the king of the panel there, one of the kings of the panel. Frequent flyer on Sim Show. Also, you appear on other people's show too. So shout out to everything that you do, man. I want to encourage you whenever you get ready. You put it out there. And guys will hopefully to go out there and they support it. And give you good good vibes, not always going for the juggly all the time.
I don't know about that. I've been hearing some things, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I've heard it all.
But if they keep talking, just go boop. Boop. I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm from the Navy. Oh shit, back up.
Shoot a missile at him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. All right, Josh, man. Thank you for hanging out, man. Go get some sleep. I know I messed up your little sleep pattern, but thank you for being on the show. Had a good time. I'd like to have you on again. We could talk about something.
Good, man. I'm always ready. Always ready.
No doubt, man. All right, thanks again for tuning in. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. It's Evil the Anti-Star DiehardKnicks Podcast. Like I do on the show, 4 fingers to the forehead, tucking your thumb, salute. See you guys on the next one. All right, peace.